Hey y'all, at the start of last summer, I put a mini split air conditioner in my home garage. This is a shop where I do a lot of welding and fabrication. It's 76 degrees inside here right now, and it's 103 outside. We're at the end of the second summer of its operation, so this is my 1-year definitive review of putting a mini split air conditioner in a home shop. I chose a 36K BTU mini split from Mr. Cool. This is a very DIY brand. Like I said, it's had 2 summers on it, so I feel like I can really give you a good picture of installation, what it's been like to operate it, how much it costs, and the little things that little quirks, I guess, that I've had to deal with over this last year, and some suggestions if you choose to install one of them. First of all, just a disclaimer to you guys, nobody's paying me to say this, right? I bought that unit, spent my own money, because I wanted to be able to get more work done here. It is August in North Texas, and it is hotter than a match head outside. But I can work all day on the stuff that I really like without getting fatigued from being super hot. Second thing, that's a big unit. That's the Mr. Cool 36K, and it is still a DIY unit. I'm gonna give you the link to go and see the unit, but I spent about $3,500 just to get the unit, and then odds and ends added up to about another like $500, maybe $750. So I'm into this for about $4,250, $4,300, and that's still a lot of money. Like my local AC company, they wanted to charge me $13,000. So this DIY thing saved a lot of money. I'm willing to pay myself close to $10,000 just to put this in, but it gave me a chance to spend time with my dad and my father-in-law, and we had a right good time putting this thing in. I'm fortunate not just to have my dad around who enjoys all these adventures, but also my father-in-law who has spent a career doing HVAC tech, so this is like child's play for them. If you have a chance to install one of these, I think you can absolutely do it on your own. It's certainly set up that way. But if you can bring friends or family into the process, all the better, right?
Through the hole, and then this is going to fit onto the bracket. But here's where the refrigerant's going to go in there.
Power here.
So the outdoor unit is actually suspended. We mounted this up on the wall to get it up off the ground, kind of as much out of the way as we could. This thing's pretty heavy, so this is about as high as we felt comfortable mounting it.
All right, what are we looking at here, Pop? Oh, baby, look. You know, we had to go through a 25-inch wall, and if you have enough extensions along a drill bit, you can make that happen. And it burst through.
And then we added this. This didn't come in the kit, this particular sheathing. Actually, my buddy who actually wired it and powered it, he put on all the sheathing based on experience that he'd had in the past, and that it was just nice to be able to protect all the, pre-charged lines. So this thing cools really, really well. And here's my for instance, right? Before my buddy Kurt came over here, I got on my phone and looked at my app, and it said it was 93 degrees out here in the shop. And about 20 minutes before he got here, I turned that thing on, and by the time he arrived, 20-ish minutes later, it was 75 here in the shop. So I took my 576 square feet from 93 to 70, high 70s, in about 20 minutes. Here's all the things that are built into that. That's the biggest unit that Mr. Cool makes, or at least did. It's 36K. And this shop is 576 square feet, but I got open rafters, and I only have insulation in the walls. The doors aren't insulated or anything like that, so it would be generous to say this thing leaks cold air. But it cools so effectively and so quickly. I cannot say enough nice things about that. Now, the first thing that you do when you install this is you install this bracket on the wall, and you gotta get it perfectly level, right, because the condensation has to drain. And then you drill kind of a big hole in your wall to push all the power and the condensate line out. That bracket is no big deal to mount on your own, but this unit's kind of hefty, right? So it's good if you can have a buddy come over, right? So one thing that I did change from the initial installation is the breaker that powers this. I started out with a 35 amp GFI, but there's something that happened to where that GFI, I guess, wore out after tripping a couple of times. It would only happen like when the unit was picking up during that surge load. So we just put in a normal 35 amp breaker, no GFI, and it has been fine for over a year now. Make sure you got plenty of wire, right? That the cable going for power to your unit is plenty big, right? It's got a specification for what it's supposed to be. And your breaker always trips first. The outdoor unit, you can see on there, it says 35 amps, put that on. The GFI just didn't work out for me. In terms of like cost to operate, mini splits are more efficient, generally speaking, than like your household air conditioner that runs with a lot of ducting. But still, air conditioners are some of the most power-hungry devices that we have. This one, I've kind of been tracking it over a period of time. I'm spending about $20 to $25 to run it on a series of weeknights, and then good length of time on Saturdays and Sundays. And that $20, $25, you know, that is about a little over $100 for, you know, over the course of a month. It can be worth it if you really have a good plan when you're out here. You know, you're not sweating through all of your stuff. There's a greater deal of comfort. You should be getting more done on your project based on being able to come out here and spend that amount of time getting deeper into your work. I would consider what I'm doing, depending on like how much your electricity costs and how hot it is, 20, 25 is probably on the high end in terms of cost per week. You know, one of the things that you do have to keep up with, especially in a shop where you're doing a lot of work, is the filters kind of get dirty pretty quickly. And there's a meter on here on the app, right? And it tells you, hey, clean the filters. And we've actually got to do that right now. I've kind of hung on to it so I can show you that process. There's also a remote they give you, but mine just stays on the wall because this is so much easier. So that's turned off. This is the one complaint I have about this unit is this lid, when you open it, it doesn't stay open. It doesn't lock into position. You kind of have to keep holding it, but you got to be kind of gentle too. I think most people would say it feels a little flimsy. So just be nice to it. And so here are the filters, and they just slide on out. And you can see how dirty they are. I just go clean these at the outdoor work. Can't talk. I just go clean these at the outdoor garden hose. But you can see, I don't know if that's going to come through on the camera or not, but you can see how dusty they are. That's the deal. Like you've got this air conditioner, it's not meant to be in a shop. So I think you got to be prepared to clean these a little bit more often than normal. It doesn't take much more. You just gotta rinse it out. That's all it is. Now that is I think that's the second time I've had to clean those filters. So it's not bad at all. I mean, just hose it off and put it back in. I dried in the sun almost like that. But I'm just gonna reset. I'm gonna power this on and I'm gonna reset last cleaned today. One thing that we did that was a little different is we let the condensate line, well, meaning all the water that collects and has to run outside, we funneled that toward like a mini little rain barrel. So in the course of just a couple of hours, I'll make 5 gallons of condensation. And then I use this to put in different spots on the garden that my wife takes care of. And it's distilled water. It's straight from the atmosphere. So there's no chlorine or anything. So this has been one of the best things that I've ever put in the shop. It really does help me. You guys know I'm a big fan. I've made that abundantly clear. I've linked the unit to my Amazon store that I bought. There's other smaller levels. Check those out. I think there's even one size bigger. More importantly, like, what did I miss in this video that you guys want to know more about? Ask your questions. I'll answer them as best I can. And if it's like something that needs more explanation, I'll put it in the next video, okay? Till then, I got a well, so y'all take good care, okay? So if I talk like a weatherman, we're getting a nice little bit of moisture here, and it's going to blow up.